Ndewonu ndị ọma, ụtụtụ ọma, ehihie ọma, mgbede ọma, n'ebe ọbụla onye ọbụla nọ. Welcome everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Biafrans and lovers of freedom. We welcome you to this channel. This is Nelly's TV. And this channel, we preach the gospel of truth and nothing but the truth. We are here to put the record straight without fear or favor. Okay? We appreciate everyone. We appreciate your work as a genuine Biafran fighting for your freedom. We appreciate our leaders wherever they are. Our Madike, Mazi Simon Ekpa, and Mazi Ogenkere, and the entire BRGIE cabinet, and everyone, every Biafran who is standing genuine, not those on the fence, because you can't stand on the fence and accept miracle to work. You must stand on the truth. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not on the fence. He is still standing gallant. He's standing gallantly in where he is for this freedom. Okay, so that's why, come rain, come shine, we are here to preach the gospel. Ndewonu. Please, as you come in, click the like button, share and subscribe. Please, very important, so that this channel will grow. As you share, it will help to go viral. As you click the like button, it will help to go viral. Please, subscribe. Okay, we speak the truth to here. Gishebi ga-anụrụ eziokwu. Eziokwu a na-akụghị mmiri. Come to Nelly's TV. Okay? Anyị anaghị atụ asị, anyị anaghị ebodo mmadụ asị, anyị anaghị ekwu ihe ọbụla, just nọ ịnọkọta iti aka na mpata kwuo anything ị chọrọ ikwu. Mba nọ ọwụ ọnụ pattern Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And not only Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, it is not the right thing. It's not the right thing. When you are saying something, let it be that you're saying something that is straightforward. You are not to destroy somebody's image. Okay, so but when you may destroy somebody's image, we'll come to debunk it. All right. So as we wait for others to join in, we'll be playing this song. Why we are playing this song for now is to appreciate our fellow people, fellow Africans who are in solidarity with what we are fighting for. Okay, so that's Neto Dike na nke o mere omekwa ọzọ. So kwanye na-achọ alliance, I chọrọ ndị ga-akwanyere anyị aja n'ukwu. So we have to appreciate them by playing their songs. Okay, please call others to come in. Welcome.
Biafra, mokili ezali na yo. Lingala, ndoto ya mpasi, elikieza likuna, mbato ya Kongo. Nangai, nayo, tozali moko na moko. Tozalina yo. Makila ya maboko ezalina moliku, mitema ya boku ezalina nguya. tozali na yo na biso maboko tosilika te na biso mitema tozali na ngai Biafra mokili oyo ezali yo elikia na yo ekosimba libela kalambele mobuni ya mpasi okobungaka te nzambe akopesa yo tembo na yo Biafra tozali na yo Biafra pasi ezali na fili lumiere koya na mokolo ya sika Kongo lia moko na moko mabungi ya papa libela na libela
Ndewonu. Please call people to join this broadcast. We have so many things on the table. And don't forget that tomorrow is Ahmadike's court case. So let's see what will happen. The information is that Ahmadike has written to Donald Trump. He has written to Donald Trump, giving him notice of the zoo intention of their atrocity against him. Okay, so of their biased mind. So he has written to Donald Trump about the case of tomorrow. They are putting him under duress because ha na-eme ngwa ngwa ụgbọ ha na-akụ tintintim ụgbọ ọmọtachi na-akụ tintintim ka o mee deliver ihe ha si ha mee deliver, but ha na-enwe controversy. Ndị South Eastern governors na-asị zoo and the Fulanis, na ọ bụrụ na ha carry out that intention ha bi n'obi, n'oge eme ka ahapụ inwe election again na South Eastern region. So election na Soludo na-akpọ garịgarị n'oge eme ya affect unu mana ọ sị na ihe dị ya n'isi now. So ha na-achọ ka ha jiri delay tactics ka ha mechagodi election ha. So Omotosho nọ under here ọ maghị ebe ọ nọ, ọ maghị ebe ọ kwụ akwụ. Ha zoo Fulani chọrọ ime act carry out their intention. Ndị Igbo ji Maazị Nnamdi Kanu, ndị leaders na-achị achị wee na-achọ ka ebidie their own. So but n'agbanyeghị otu ọbụla o si adị, they rejected and denied Maazị Nnamdi Kanu access to his medical treatment. So he has written to Donald Trump. We are now waiting to see what will be the outcome of it. What will be the outcome of that write-up or submission he has submitted to Donald Trump. So maybe tomorrow we will see if Donald Trump was able to get through it or what. So tomorrow, ka anyị kwanyere Maazị Nnamdi Kanu ugwu, hapụnụ maka Ngozi Orabueze. The day on 4th of this month being Monday, which was the was it Monday? Which was the day eji akwanyere Ọhamadike ugwu for sit at home. Ngozi si na ọ na-eme gangaro election. Unu ahụla na nwaanyị a onweghị ihe o ji Maazị Nnamdi Kanu kpọrọ. Beta ọbịa ọ na-asị Ngozi, ọ na-asị maazị onye ndu. But he went and fixed his gangaro election on the day of Ọhamadike's court case. Unu ahụkwara ụdị ka mkparị dị ihe ahụ. Ngozi ọ gaghị adịrị gị na mma o. Okay, so let's play this solidarity song again while we wait for people. Please share. We have things on the table. Maka ndị na-asị na onweghị ihe BRGIE na-eme. maka ndị na-asị na onweghị ihe BRGIE na-eme, ndị si na na-eke akpa na-aga ise foto, you know, you will see how news are come. Ndị ama na ha na-atụgbu onwe ha na-asị, so they don't have any option than to carry this news. I showed us how France 24 what they said, so we'll bring another news here again so that ka ha na-ahụ ya ka afọ njọ na-enye ha nsogbu. Wow, thank you for joining. I see a lot of people. Okay, well, easy coding. Nwanne mmadụ Eunice, ndewonu, you're welcome. Thank you for joining. God bless you. So let's play this music as we just wait briefly for people to join in. Why we are playing this music is to appreciate our lovers, ndị na-support this freedom, so that as etodike na nke omere omekwu ọzọ. These are our African brothers and sisters supporting us, so we have to appreciate them by playing their music. Las Ndewo, Las Benziko, you're welcome. Ndewo nwanne. Emeka Gift is trying. Emeka Gift official. Oh yeah, well, na-enye anyị this song. N'agbanyeghị ọkwụ ya DOS, so but you have to be playing the music. You na-emekwara ihe DOS ya, anyị na-aga n'iru.
Amakawe to our souls apela ngokuzimisela sizongoba Biafra yetu izobankanyezi Biafra siyavuka sizwe setu silwangamana noma kukhulumile.
Eunice Ndewo is the message to him. So ya gara ya koruo ya aka ka afọ njọ na-enye ya nsogbu. afọ njọ ji ya pride and ego, hatred, that is I've never seen. Jealousy and envy. Ihe ji ya ni Biafra. Biafra will arise. Biafra Binyabunda. Ngozi nọkata nnọọ bịa tinye election na fort. Ọ na-eme election, ndị nzuzu wee soro ya wee pụta na ha na-eme election on the day of Hamadike's court case. Ọnwụ arụrụ a na-adị ihe ahụ, mana ndị na-eso ya si na ha na akwụ Maazị Nnamdi ha pụta ha na-eti onye ndu anyị Chineke nna. Ihe Jehova ga-ekpe erika o, ihe Jehova ga-ekpe erika, mana ya dịba. Ebeka, who gave her that authority? Please share. Buru bell go or jail go nor ebe no. Amadike did not jump any bell. Okay. I ga-agbapụ ya ọsọ. Ndewonu once again. Ndewonu Mushuku. ndewonu. Ojenu Biafrans. Ndewonu. Dominic. Yes, Biafra we move. Dominic, you're welcome. Ndewo nwanne. Thank you for joining. All right. Solafufu Onyosho. Solafufu, this man who know a very big cause to a whole race. A whole race. Soludo wo a cause. Let us hear what Chibo is saying. Then I may address Soludo before other things. We have so many things on the table, so many news. So, but let's start from onye anumpa man ekwu. Then I am na we are before na Reverend Paul Shibo has been defending Soludo, which even made me to one day mpụtara were ya mee video siamba. Maazị, I respect you. Nnejikwanye na gị onyonyo gị n'ime nke dị ma bet nke anyị na-ekwu bụ ọdabahụ atọl ọdabahụ. So bet o jigoro ọnya wee mee confess, no na-ekpuchite Soludo, bet na nke a na ọ gafezigo oke ya na-asị gị na agbọ agarago akpịrị. So it is onwe ihe a na-eme like we are trying to survive. So Nigeria were mmiri ọkụ wee dị ka oke nọ n'ime hole. I were mmiri ọkụ wunye. So it will come out to fight. So ha tagidego anya ahụ anyị wee pụta to fight for our right. So the thing nke a emetugo Maazị Paul Shibo owe simba na this one he cannot hold it. Okay, let's hear it.
Ụmụnne m, ana m ekene onye ọbụla, ana m asị ka ụbọchị taa mara onye ọbụla mma. Aha m brother Paul Chigbo. Enwelu ihe m fụrụ na news n'ụtụtụ a na headline. N'agbanyeghị na onye aka nka mere ihe onyonyo gbasara peace accord asaịrị na Anambra State. Mana ọ dị mkpa na itinyere nke ọnụ maka ọkịta ka m fụrụ ebe gọvanọ Prọfesọ Chukwuma Soludo na-agbaje egwu ya. Maka o tee na ọ dị m ka egwu ọba na-abụ, double leg dance ka m fụrụ na-agba kemgbe. Aghọtachabụ m ebe egwu a na-eje, mana ọ bịazi ikwu okwu taa, ọ bịa dowezie m anya. O dowe m anya ebe e kwuru maka genocide na Nigeria. President America ma ABIO ọtụtụ security agency health abụrụ taa, ma ndị journalist ha si ebe a bịa Nigeria ọ bụrụ taa ka ebido gadaba information. Anyị na-afụ the video na-aga viral, all global media ka anyị nọ na ya. Nye ka President America pụtara, onye a gwara na be ya na-agba ọkụ, mmadụ bịa ka o nyere ya aka ka akwụsị ọkụ anyanwajụ ijide fuel ewunye ebe a ma ọ bụ na ịchọ ọ na ịrapụrụ ya be ya agbatọpụ ọkụ ka ọ fụzie ife ọkụ na-eme n'anya. Mmadụ na Amerịka wee chọọ ka o tiri gị ọnụ n'ife imenwuro ife anyị emenwuro kemgbe ka a na-eti mkpu different areas. Ife anyị fụrụ bụzikwa ife gbasara Christian and the Muslim na Nigeria. Ọ bụrụ taa ka o bido ma Sharia o ma Mohammed Cartoon ọ bụrụ taa, ọ maka na egbubere ndị nke gị. Nya ka President America kwuru okwu kama ihe emechi ọnụ ma ọ na-emara ife inekwu maka ote na-ada okwu a na-agba gị tako mụnwa na-akwa ịtụkarị gị ugwu nke onye mesi tokenia. Mana President America kwuo okwu kama ihe emechi ọnụ.
Health insurance made easy. How to sign up. Are you moving to Germany to work or study? And
oh God.
Governor, ị na-adazikwa ada okwu prof. Ka isizi ekwu okwu gị.
What is it now? Is it network or what? Oh God.
In comparison with your academic prowess, I mean, or whatever hang with a match. Ọ tụrụzi ka mgbe ahụ maka oge mmadụ na-aga aga. Ekwena m ya na enwe m inwe oratorial ability. Ị na-ekwu okwu otu a na-akụrụ gị aka, ọ bụrụzi kịta. Ị na-agazi aja.
Oh, network. What kind of thing is this?
Nwoke a na-akọcha ife ọfụrụ, nwoke kọcha ife ọfụrụ ma na ọ bụrụ nwoke. Keke suwesi na genocide. Nigeria ka a na-ekwu, ije single out to your own state. If also criminality dị n'ala Igbo enwere ebe ndị na-achị efi na-egbu mmadụ killer headers nọ ma oge Obianọ na-achị o enwere a whole lot ma n'Imo State as I'm talking now enwere different forests n'ala Igbo ebe ha nọ ụfọdụ n'ime ha na-harvest organ ndị be ya na-egoro egoro enwere nke a kpọrọ kanda ị na-aṅụ ọbara na aba agara ka enwude ya ka ifite dunu kanda ị na-aṅụ ọbara eme ka mma afọ de vidio ọkwa sị na onye nwa na ndị na-achị efi egbu mmadụ ndị Fulani mmadụ 6 kanda ị na-aṅụ ọbara ọ na ọ bụrụ na Anambra steeti na-abịazi n'ikpeazụ a ụmụazị be anyị achọghị ịba uru irresponsible element juzie n'ime ọfịa wee na-emegherizi na-arụ ana na-epu eze elu ịkwụrụzi ọtọ were mezie ndị exonerate ndị na-achị efi egbu mmadụ ife a na-ekwu okwu ya bụ Naijiria ịgbakọ ọfụma gọvanọ ịfụ na ndị niile bụ ndị Muslim gbakọrọ ọnụ na-ekwu na asị ịfụ na religious work a na-efe ha na-ekwu na asị so o kwesịrị na onye ọbụla bụ Christian kwesịrị iji ka aka ọnụ na-ekwu n'eziokwu maka ọ bụrụ fabricated story all realities all facts on the ground. Eje wepụ Anambra steeti sị na Emmanuel nọ n'ime ọfịa Matthew nọ n'ime ọfịa ka maka Salisu nọkwa n'ime ọfịa ife ha ji wee nyezie efe na ọ dabazi otu o si ada ha mebezi ebe ndị ọzọ maka ebe ọhụụ na sekuriti dị ka a na-achụzi ụmụazị be anyị nọzi n'ọfịa ha nwa bụ ndị mba ya enyekwuzi efe ha nọkọta abanye Asaba nọkọta abanye Edo o nwere ebe ha nwere lokeshọn onye ori nwere steshọn on the police nwere steshọn nya ka ndị US chọrọ ka enyere anyị aka. Gọvanọ nwanyị na ide ewepụ ọnụ dịka esi wee jụọ gị maka ikpe ekpere maka Maazị Nnamdi Kanu ịgwa onye Chinese journalist mbụ Shehu Ọkịmbaloye ka ebe ị gwara ya na ọ bụrụ ife a ka a kpọrọ gị ebe a na ife abịa ka akpa ebe a maka Anambra State election ka ebe kpatara oji for gị few days ọ ka ndị senta wee kwụnyere gị ife unu na-ada achọ dị federal backup unu na-achọ power from center ka ọ kwụdoro unu ka ahụ na afọdụ unu na ndị unu na-achị alaikere unu onye gba fọt nọgata ọ bụrụ first imejọchazie ndị na-achị ya subjects then wetazie backup from federal if you know that impunity a na-ekwu okwu ya if you know corruption ahụ a na-ekwu okwu ya so with your intelligentsia governor ọ dịghị nnọọ ka inweta backup federal na-ebuzi agha na your own state mgbe ị nwere peace at home how can you make progress? So na-agba na-alụ ọrụ na-alụ mmadụ ife ọjọọ condemn ya how can you lie in a broad daylight? Esi nọọsọ Emmanuel nọọsọ Peter nọọsọ onye anọ n'ime ọfịa enwere so many of them nọ bụ n'ọfịa ọ na ụmụazị be anyị batazi ha nwanye efe nke a dị iche mana ọ ka mma na imechiri ọnụ egwute nke MNK iwepụ ọnụ na nke ahụ na ọ bụrụ ife a ka a kpọrọ gị ebe a ịchagharịa kama ihe ewepụkwa ọnụ na nke a maka ama m na a na-akpọchi unu n'ekwentị constant attack ị na-enye Mr. Peter Obi nke bụ eziokwu na a na-akpọ unu agwa unu ife unu ya eme a na-akpọ unu ọ na-adịkwana m ka ọtụtụ ndị ọchịchị n'ala Igbo dị ka captured ego aka ji unu unu dị ka captured ego Chukwu ekwekwana ka m nọ na act of cowardice Chukwu ekwekwana ka onye na-ehu ehu anyị mamere gwa m ife mmemme na be nna kema nchara ọchịchị ahụ onye bụ reputation onye bụ integrity ife ọ naghị echu gị afọ echara ya onye ma ọchịchị ada azụ ọchịchị azụ a na-ayị ya biko bụrụ onye ọchịchị maka ejiri afụfụ anya isi ezigbo ọchịchị bụ afụfụ abụghị uru onye ma agụ egwu ada azọ microphone ife a na-azọ n'aka ọnụ if I were in your shoes I will not do it let the work speak for me. Ọ Chukwu na-eme eze ada azụ eze azọ mana unu ejide ife niile bastardize na Nigeria nkwiri gị taa echi gba aja egwu eghe aja ife niile m na-ekwiri gị enwere ife m na I have not benefited anything financially mụ na gị na-aba akpabere nwere dị nothing even ya media team oge ị batara ọfụ ụkọ oke ọ bụrụ na ya regime oge nke Willie Obianọ enwe ndị media team Anambra steeti na-agba m tako mgba ha nkịtị anagata post m na different WhatsApp sọsọ maka na ikwuru eziokwu. How can I sweep the truth under the carpet? Because of na-enwe social media warriors ndị na-enweta peanut from governors.
Okay.
Why should I? Onye ọrụ na mma ife bụ integrity. You can't stand their name picture ndị nwụrụ anwụ go for temporal solution mana a na-enwe untarnished name afa na-emeghe ụzọ nwa toto okwuru mana ego na-agwụ agwụ There are problems money cannot solve. There are doors money cannot open. Man, reputation, integrity, we open that door. And you must pay price for it. There are places you say no, and there are places you say yes. There are gifts you reject just to maintain that altar of truth. Constant attack to Mr. Bitobi, mebo basarugo, mebo basaharuge. I chop tam na agwu ni funu yeku. Even on car. Eji go kwa post to ene ganya kwege nkwa. Na gi soru oppose where a single Anambra state. And ekwu kwa Anambra ko Nigeria.
Okay.
If I ekwu kita, on eme na Edo state. On eme na Plateau state. On eme even na Borno. Ebe ni ne Christians no. On eme na Kaduna mgbe former governor Erufai na Chieba. St. Francis atụrụ bọmbụ n'Owo. St. Francis Catholic Church atụrụ bọmbụ. Kende target, kende Toriano. If I na-ekwu okwu Nigeria, why must you single out your own? Na-ekwunyesi in favor of federal government ka iwe win. Well, I may wish you good luck. Man, if you kwutere n'isi gị maka onye na-ekwu ndị mmadụ a na-ege ntị. Ọkwachukwu na-eme eze o. Ọkwachukwu na-eme eze. Onye mara ebe ọ gwara ahụ ya chere akwa ya. Zisa n'ihe onyonyo aha m brother Paul Chigbo ka emesịa nụ.
Okay. So, okay.
Aha m brother Paul Chigbo ka emesịa.
All right. So, ịma na ọwụ na o metụ gị isi na ihe a na-ekwu na ihe a na-akọwa akụkọ ifo. Ọ dị mma otu a Soludo kwuziri nke bara ya na ntị. You know? Nke o kwuru nke bara ya na ntị. So, ọ hụgo that na Soludo dịka woman kwuru na eche na Soludo wụ onye Igbo na ọmahụ nọ ndị Fulani tụrụ ime ya. Soludo is a very big disgrace to Igbo race. A very big disgrace to Igbo race. Soludo na-ewepụta Anambra State when a na-ekwunye gbasara Christians. No wonder o ji wee pụta she may abandon public preaching in Anambra State, in a Christian state. Osino na-eme ya abandon. But ọhụ mosque ndị na-eti mkpu na-etichi ndị mmadụ ntị n'ụtụtụ, ọ gaghị asịkwa ha bere ọ ha kwụsị. He cannot do it. Soludo is just bent. But we forgot mgbe Soludo anababeghị n'ọchịchị. I heard him one time say that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has brought braveness into the mind of people. Now before wu na-ekwu okwu Biafra, ị nọrọ na bedroom gị na nwunye gị unu kwucha ya na fish ọnụ before you put outside. I heard him on the television ọ na-ekwu okwu ahụ. Or say that now everybody you can be bold as an Igbo person to speak about Biafra because of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. This Otola neighbor, where Mona Shiba na first regime, ọ na-agagwo ihe niile ọ na-agagwo. Gacha sị na ya na Mazi Nnamdi Kanu jere see foto ebe Mazi Nnamdi Kanu yi akwa ndị ke Liverpool. Nnamdi Kanu yi akwa ndị Liverpool na ya sere foto. You know, just to win maka ọmanụ na Mazi Nnamdi Kanu na command population. He knows who Mazi Nnamdi Kanu no. N'agbanyeghị your professor niile iji. N'agbanyeghị how you have been the governor of Central Bank, your integrity is not up to that of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Solafufu na-agwa gị Soludo. You cannot compare yourself, no matter how many degrees you are. Why did you go to do that? Because you know that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu nwere followers. Millions of people na-ege ya ntị. Which you yourself acknowledged that he has brought boldness and courage into you. Iwe ba na first regime. The first thing you did, ndị Fulani nyere gị position, ngwara gị wogeni crush ESN. Unwe gbaka aka, wee shuru ndị ESN. Wee shuru ndị ESN. We heard the comment during that period. As God may have it, the survivors were made metaphors into military under the leadership of Mazi Simon Ekpa. Up till then, he put again no chichi. even didn't put for Biafra. Some of them, I heard some of them that were saying, why should you come? You're coming to government is to come and attack IPOB. And who is IPOB? Indigenous people of Biafra. Soludo, if truly you are an Igbo man, if truly you are an Igbo man, you are one of IPOB members. If truly you are Igbo, you are a genuine Igbo man, you are an IPOB member. Okay? Indigenous people of Biafra, my candidate IPOB. You and I is an IPOB member or an IPOB member. If truly you are an Igbo man. So people were asking, people were telling you that never on Kino by way that you need a win so na regime. I know people that were not even Nana Hemiye Biafra who were saying it. I sat with them down east. And that is how you brought problem to you. That is why where criminalities just for you to survive. Because of Iyendi and Lamajiri Warage. Because of Iye and Lamajiri Warage. That is what you're playing. So Rudo, iwe putazem na ndekano uruzi onye na banyere azu. Now, okay, let us listen to that interview. Emerioji we quote that before. That anyway, you went to US and told them that 98%, 99.8% of Iwega na US it's not 99.9% of ihe na-eme na Nigeria or na Anambra wu ndị Igbo na-eme ya. Soludo ihere emeghu gị. Soludo nwamba afọ iwe kwuo ya, iwe na-arahụ ụra, nwunye gị nọrọ na-ele gị isi, nwunye gị na-ele gị isi, ị na-ezuzu, ị na-adị iberibe, ndị kwu nne gị na ndị kwu nna gị a na-ele gị na-adị iberibe. Maka na awụ nna unu gacha ga mecha that initiation unu na-eme, ndị ugwu were nna ma ha mere sacrifice nye unu tacha ya, fee unu mmiri, unu ezuzuwa. You forgot and become, that is, you turn to something else. An episode na watch from Gambia has taught me a lesson. You sell your conscience. After that, you work with the same God. After the Madok Pocharage, you could not regain yourself after that kind of costly mistake you made. You still come up again. And a woke genocide. Oto Siebu Christians. Ndione with the Christians. Biafrans are Christians. Which is insignificant. How many percent? But Biafrans are Christians. And the massacre of Christians in Nigeria. You saw in your Anambra state, where may accuse Ndibo again. Now Soludo, Enugu state, Obuhozi, Najiru na unu believe. Enugu state, Iyamufu, ndị Fulani bịa wee chụpụsịa ndị mmadụ, sack them out of their community. Solo Afufu, Effiong n'Ebonyi state, Ono was a part of the same country ahụ unu kwenyere nya, nke Nwifuru na-achị, your colleague, Peter Nwambashi na-achị, your colleague. This is similarly, so it is not your concern. Are they not Christians? Soludo. What of Anambra state? Soludo Emmanuel. Ndị Fulani merencha in your watch, under your watch, Soludo. Ndị Fulani mere Emmanuel ncha wee bee ya ka ebere akwụkwọ nri. Hey, Chineke. Made the secret, the two sisters. Soludo under your watch. Onawo Chukwuma mere ya? Onawo Okeke mere ya? Soludo. Let us hear his report. Let us hear his report. Maka asinato po nkita akro egosi ahụ.
Contradiction that Anambra is certainly one of the safest, if not the safest state in Nigeria today.
All right, quickly. There is this, I know that one of the major problems in the southeast region of the country, which impacted on the economy largely, was every Monday people stay at home, and it's pretty much like 3 weekend days that you have out of the 7 or 8 days. You have Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday in the southeast region. Monday reduced to a no-work day because of sit-at-home issue. And now there are agitation for the release of Nnamdi Kanu. And I'd like to know, are you going to join, are you joining in that campaign for the president or the federal government to release Nnamdi Kanu? There will be protests in many parts of the country tomorrow, as we understand. What is your view about that protest and the agitation for the release of Nnamdi Kanu?
Imagine being able to build anything just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
Shell, I think we should be discussing Anambra and forthcoming election. That's what you said this program is all about. And you're not going to drag me, get me to...
Have you seen it? On here, Paul Neku that they are captured eagle. They are captured eagle because he doesn't want to go contrary to the plan of his master, to the rule of the Fulanis. The Fulanis have told them everything they have to be doing, everything they have to be saying. So he's dodging this thing. Can't happy with that. No, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And that is what Mazi Paulo have just told you. That they are like captured eagles. When he's seeing this man, Obi, this is this senator House of Rep from Abia, from Afaruku, Agosha, Obi. He is a politician like you, but he's standing on behalf of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And he's speaking his mind, even though he speaks like a politician. But at least he's standing for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Soludo, you have sold your conscience. Look at what you say. You say that is not what they call you here. That is not what you come to do. Let's hear him. That what brought you here is because of your election. Oh, here digging no nampa. So mane bundibo masi bo Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. It is not your business. As far as ndị Fulani nyere ọchịchị ahụ ka ịbanye na-eme their bid, that is all you care. That is all you care. Let's hear him.
And forthcoming election, that's what you said this program is all about. And you're not going to drag me, get me to, if you like, get us distracted from that focus.
You are not going to drag me to get me distracted from election on the
I get on to Monday sit-at-home thing, which is very unfortunate. We've made it very clear. People, if you are protesting or agitating for anything, you are holding yourself down by now killing your own people under the pretext of Monday sit-at-home.
Soludo, how many people have you empowered in Anambra State? Even though you are denying it, how many of them have you compensated? Soludo, shop in thousands of thousands. How many of them have you helped? That month down, I am on down on our nenye Henry. The only thing in the hand, that income ha na-enwete. That is all. Anything else, and
I think even Nnamdi Kanu himself and his IPOB, at least on record in terms of press releases that were sent out by IPOB that they did not support the Monday sit at home. It was some.
Isigbo onwe gị Soludo onye oshi ka ewo. Isigbo onwe gị. When did Nnamdi Kanu say that? These people there, that is ha na-atụ ncha. Ndị a na-atụ ncha. Demon ndị ha n'ime, that is obi unu anwụgo anwụ nnọọ. You just come to public, you lie anyhow. Maazị Nnamdi Kanu. Ọ na Maazị Nnamdi Kanu tinyere sit at home. Na-agakwa n'iru with asị gị.
Criminal elements doing that. And we take them for their word that that's true, that they don't. And Monday sit at home thing is likely, over here. With anybody sitting at home now is doing so out of his own preference, not because of insecurity, as it were, because everywhere is secured on Mondays, and as the case may be. As for those who are agitating or going to have demonstration or whatever, they have a right to do so. I mean, in a democracy, where everybody has freedom of expression, and you express have your freedom of expression in the way that you do so. I discussed the issue of release of Nnamdi Kanu, several months upon assumption of office, and even on the day that the Ohanes and the Igbo had their Igbo there. I said, we needed to have a conversation because for me, I believe very strongly that, of course, the agitation thing and the position on a separatist view of Igbo land. For me, as a full-blooded Igbo man, I don't believe that. But I want us to have a conversation. I've told, I said, why I need Nnamdi Kanu to come and sit with all of us, everybody else, because nobody has greater right than the other. We're all Igbos and we're all entitled to our views.
So, we have just proven the fact that Soludo does not care. But in Bonasho, Iban or Chichi the first time, Ojimazi Nnamdi Kanu we hear pillow just to get what he wants. All right. So, now we have been seeing. Okay, let's read this news. Let's read this news. This is Vanguard News. Okay, Vanguard News. He said, Soludo, however, argued that the situation in the Southeast is far more complex than the U.S. narrative suggests. Could you imagine Soludo? That is what Shibo told him. That somebody want to come and help you. Look at what Soludo can say in the Vanguard. This is Vanguard News. Solafofo Garana Vanguard Gakwo that Soludo said, however, he argued that the situation in the Southeast is far more complex than the U.S. narrative suggests. He further said, this is a deeper conversation. There is a deeper conversation and introspection about what goes on in the country. See Soludo. Soludo said, in this part of the world, Eastern Nigeria, it is not religious. It is not religious. Did you hear him? That it is not religious. He said, people are killing themselves Have you heard it? That people are killing themselves. Christians killing Christians. Did you hear Soludo? Have you heard Soludo? Soludo, onye gburu Emmanuel, nke mere recently, nkeji n'aka. Soludo, it was viral. He said that Christians killing Christians. The people in the bushes are Emmanuel, imagine Soludo, Peter, and John. Hey, all Christian names, and they have maimed and killed thousands of our youth. It has nothing to do with religion. Hey, Soludo. This is Soludo's write-up, interview or speech in Vanguard. He says, okay, oh, Shinekenna. Soludo is still accusing our people in order to prove or support Fulanis, in order to support jihad against our people. Soludo eregokwa Igbo. Soludo has sold our people toro toro. Oregokwa ndị be anyị. Soludo eregokwa ndị be anyị. Ndị na-aga ịtụnyere Soludo vote. Ọkwa ndụ unu kunu na-enye Soludo n'aka, si ya ihe sọrọ unu ya were nu mee. Ọkwa ndụ unu kunu na-enye Soludo. The former central bank governor explained that the region is almost entirely Christian. Yes, entirely Christian. This is a Christian state. He said nothing that the perpetrators and victims of the ongoing violence share the same fate. In this part of the country, we are 95% Christians, and the people in the bushes killing people bear Christian names. Shy, he added, shy. It is wider than the categorization of Christians and the Muslims. Nigeria will overcome and it will end in conversation. Have you seen Soludo? Chineke. I'm just reading this write-up now. Look at what Soludo can go to Vanguard to tell people, to tarnish the image of the Igbos. Soludo na-emebikwa n'aha ndị Igbo, unu kpọkwanụ Soludo afa. Call Soludo to order. Soludo, Enugu State, ihe mere n'Enugu State, ka ndị mere yani. Soludo, ESN issues asịrị, busisie. Why was ESN set up? Ọ bụ maka ndị Fulani juru n'ọfịa niile na-eme ndị mmadụ ncha. Mmere Maazị Nnamdi Kanu si njisi mba wee binye fọmụ ESN, and ka ọ fọmụrụ ESN, ndị be anyị wee koro ume ndụ. Ndị Fulani si mba, anyị ma mgba niile ha gbara ka akwụsị this thing because they want to carry out jihadists against our people. Onye Soludo bịara, ha wee were ya kwara ngwa ọrụ. Soludo, unu na-atụnyere Soludo vote. We should everybody nwe onye Anambra State kpọkwa n'ezinụlọ unu, kpọọ n'ezinụlọ unu, si ha, gwa ha onye atụnyere Soludo vote, onye apụ n'ezi, onye apụ n'iro. Maka ụmụ ugba ha gwawa ọnụ nwa nọ diaspora ka a na-akpọ, he inye siri ike, he nke a mekwara, ị na-ata afụfụ, na-amụ anya, na-achọ ka ị ga-esi wee nyere ndị be gị aka, mana ọha nwa kwụsara mmiri na-atụghị oyi n'ahụ. You're voting for this man. Ọnwụ gị ka ị na-evoturu. Ka anyị nụrụ what this is a barrister from US. He is a US citizen. Then let's hear him. then gaa nụrụzi ihe Soludo na-ekwu. Adịghị m sure na onye awụ onye Igbo. Onye awụ onye Igbo, but he's a Nigerian. But all US citizens, on a US, a lawyer in US, but he's a Nigerian. Okay? So let's hear him. Onye awụ onye Igbo, then nụrụ na ihe ọ ga-ekwu.
All right. So, thanks. Emmanuel, please fill us in on how this campaign, which has been on for a while, how it got the attention and some of those very strong statements from the U.S. president. Because you will recall that this thing has been going on, the advocacy from Nigerians in the U.S. to get the U.S. government involved in this matter has been going on forever. We have never gotten to the point that a U.S. president will come out as strongly as Mr. Trump has done. Can you fill us in on what changed in the dynamics? Emmanuel.
Okay. Yes. Well, first of all, let me point out that I was involved in the drafting or advocacy for the passing of this bill about 28 years ago. And at that time, we were looking at countries like Sudan. We did not realize that many, many years afterwards, Nigeria's situation will be bad enough to warrant designation. Now, that said, let's be clear. President Trump had actually called out Nigeria face to face with Buhari in 2018 when they met. The difference is Trump asked him nicely, stop the killing of Christians in Nigeria. It was direct engagement. And afterwards, they went back into the White House and they signed a trade agreement. So Trump was able to engage with him to resolve this issue and still do business with him. What has happened? After Trump left, the Democrats came in and they completely stopped an evaluation of Nigeria. And so, of course, when Trump came back, the situation had worsened since the last time that, he complained about it 7 years ago. And unfortunately, instead of addressing the issue, the Nigerian government started denying the facts. You see, when you are accused of stealing the goat meat, your response should not be, who would have stolen that kind of salty meat anyway? Because by your response, you admitted guilt. The Nigerian government, instead of saying, look, we are addressing the issue, this is what we have done, they say, hey, it's not only Christians who are being killed, others are being killed. It's an admission of state failure. And this is why we are where we are now on this issue. But let me point out something very important. Trump has announced the designation, but then the next phase is sanctions. And I want to be clear that the first time sanctions were waived, and this time around it's not too late to waive sanctions. Now, let me just reassure listeners about the threat of military action. Laolu, you were the one as bureau chief of Guardian here in the US who reported exclusively that the US military set up a base in Niger that was covering terrorism in Nigeria. You were the only one in the world to report it. Guess what? Those two bases that America had in Niger are now lost. They were closed after the coup. So America has lost its footprint in West Africa to conduct special operations. So what that has resulted in is that Boko Haram has actually increased its operational footprint and pathology. So the situation is worse. And I have to tell you this. I do not believe that President Trump is going to unleash any attacks on Nigeria for two reasons. One, historically, the US military has been reluctant to fight side by side with the Nigerian government because they don't trust the Nigerian military. And one specific example is when they got intelligence on the location of the Chibok girls in the forest, they were cooperating with the Nigerian army under direction of President Obama. So the US government told the Nigerian army that they would gas the camp where Boko Haram was with the girls and then knock everybody out so that they could rescue the girls safely without exchange of gunfire. After they mapped out this plan, the next thing that happened, when the troops got to the camp of Boko Haram, they saw Boko Haram wearing gas masks. So the US realized that the Nigerian military had leaked the operational details to Boko Haram.
Okay.
This is why the US does not want to work directly with Nigeria with boots on the ground, because they do not trust the Nigerian army.
If your customers can't find you on Google, then you don't exist for them. Unfortunately, it's not that easy these days.
Now, here is what we could be concerned of, and here is what I believe Trump was referring to. An American was abducted in Niger and was brought by the Fulani Islamist terrorists to Nigeria as they were about to sell him to Boko Haram. That was during the Trump first term. So Trump sent US Special Forces to Nigeria to go and rescue them. But to show you the level of cooperation between the US and Nigeria, Taj Patel then was the one who was to liaise with Nigeria and give Nigeria information that US troops were coming into their airspace. They literally stopped the SEAL team while they were in the air until they got clearance from Nigeria to enter Nigeria's airspace. They arrived in Sokoto, they killed the 6 Fulani terrorists who had abducted the American citizen. They captured one and handed him to the police, and then they flew back with their citizen. What happened then? Trump came and announced it, that we have just recovered Philip Walton in an operation who had been abducted. So why am I giving you this background? A few days ago, another American was abducted in Niger. And what Trump is saying, in effect, is that if this guy ends up being brought to Nigeria again by these Fulanis who abducted him, I will take action. So the likelihood, what he might mean, is that the location where this boy is found will be held liable. So my advice to whoever is in touch with these people, I know that Nigeria's NSA has been involved in ransoming people from Fulani bandits. Let that American that ride out be found and returned peacefully so that there will be no problem.
Well, let's just, for the sake of objectivity and balance, let's say that what you just said about the NSA is an allegation because that office has denied, ransom taking, since it's not here to give a response. But to take your question to the next level, you also will recall, Mr. Ogebe, that it was the first presidency of Mr. Donald Trump that actually facilitated the sales of the military to Kanos to Nigeria, which was prevented before it got there. So clearly, I also don't think that Mr. Trump is playing games. And like you have said, he had also raised this issue informally with the former president. And so it's not as if he's just coming to the issue for the first time. So I wanted to ask you the next question, that what do you say, with this background, what do you say to the conspiracy theorists who argue that the Americans are only interested in the resources in Nigeria, particularly the solid minerals, the lithiums, and all the other stuff that they are in they have a significant need of? What's your response? You are there in Washington, D.C., Emmanuel.
Well, the funny thing is that the United States has more oil reserves than Nigeria. Secondly, President Jonathan told me himself that Nigerian oil is being smuggled into the US, and that he appealed to President Obama to help him investigate and stop the oil bunkering that was illegally going into the US. Now, of course, you know that the US has signed an agreement with Ukraine to have access to their earth minerals. Nigeria is not that critically needed by the US for the US to waste military manpower and resources to take over Nigeria. This is arrant nonsense. Our leaders in Nigeria are already stealing money from Nigeria and bringing to the West and buying houses. So they don't need to do that. But let me make something very clear. And the issue here is this, okay? When we're talking about foreign intervention in Nigeria, let us look at the facts. The people in Northwest Nigeria, invited Lakawura, a terrorist group, to come into Nigeria and assist them in fighting bandits, only for Lakawura to come in and become bandits themselves.
Okay.
Let's remember that El Rufai, a sitting governor, said that he traveled out of the country to go and pay off the Fulanis who are attacking Nigeria. And we saw what happened. They ended up moving into Nigeria and creating a terrorist syndicate nationwide. Let's remember that Buhari himself brought in Fulanis in the hopes of, destabilizing the country if he did not win the elections. So when you look at all that has been done by the other side, it's unfortunate if somebody now comes to you and says, try and save your own people from being killed. And you, as a government who have admitted that these are foreigners who are coming in and killing you, are beginning to insult the person that, no, it's not just the Muslim Christians they're killing, it's Muslims too. Let me point out something else that is very important to note. Trump has said that he may stop aid to Nigeria. And here's the thing. Remember that Obama and co at a point tried to leverage their aid to say Nigeria must introduce and accept same-sex marriage and so on and so forth. And, Nigerians were upset with them doing that. This time around, it's a very different situation. He's saying, try and stop the killings of your own citizens. So it's not a question of their imposing Western ideologies and theories on Africa. It's a question of saying, save your own lives and value your own lives. So I think, everyone should be rest assured that we will not see a military escalation, but we should certainly at this time begin to take aggressive steps to engage. The sanctions can be waived. The federal government should set up a response team and bring in knowledgeable people like yourself. You are in the US, you know this issue. Bring in Kuka, bring in, knowledgeable people. Let's sit down and come up with a roadmap on how to avert sanctions.
Okay, thank you, Manuel. So let's talk about, in your own view, whether we need to have some kind.
Before he continues, this man is very, very knowledgeable. Very, very knowledgeable. He has in his fingertips everything that is happening in Nigeria, detail by detail. Makana Horomundi Nasi, America is coming because of a natural resources of Nigeria. I even saw somebody I respect so much. He said, hey, it's true in America, Trump, they truly na be fight Boko Haram, the terrorists. But that's now that one. If the Americans are that, everybody in Nigeria will suffer. Everybody in Nigeria, what kind of suffering? Even that mineral resources, whom they are thinking that America is coming to take, who is taking the resources? And Nigeria just know shekeli money. They don't even know how many barrels of crude oil the Westerners they were in Obudoha. Because it is because I feel it no na Biafran land the kadata and the so obasa. The only thing they can count basara hanundi fulani he were so wobere yetu ndi dika Soludo ha yetu ndi dika hope uzodima ha si angwa buenu umu bunu ashire chere mashiruta shirebe we shuru umu banyi. So that resources is not even in your hands that you are crying for. Mazinam Dekanu said, if you people want resources, please take resources, but let us be free. We are struggling to survive. Resources. You have to survive first. So we are thinking on how to survive. Anything game mind to survive, that is what we want. So Soludo, have you heard about this? You are talking about that no war Christians versus Christians. Could you imagine, Soludo? Could you imagine you? From my look and my instinct, this man is from the north. And he knows what is happening. I believe he's from the northern part and he's a Christian. So why are you going near that? When they say that it's not only Christians that are being Muslim, which means you have acknowledged that there is a. So why are you defending that it's not only Muslim? So is it a good thing for people to die in your country. Soludo, come and listen to this man. Come and listen. Konye gi lecture. Ebe nwugoro mmiri ndị anamajiri. Uburo gi wee gasa. Okay, let's continue.
Of rallying together of all Nigerians on this matter. Because part of the problem is that you have quite a number of people in our population saying that, what about the Muslims that are also being killed? Some will even come up with the claim that, look, more Muslims are actually dying from the killings, a lot of killings going on in the country. So, in your view, Emmanuel, how can we, pull ourselves together and say that, look, let us treat this as a national concern, as a national emergency, and not something that is meant to divide us like Christians here and Muslims there. What's your counsel?
Yeah, so the issue is very, very straightforward. And anybody who denies that Christians have been a central target and focus of the genocide is allergic to the truth.
Okay. And
you shouldn't play politics with the blood of martyrs, with the blood of God's children. That is unacceptable. Now, here's the fact.
Period. Okay? Is from the north. Looking at him. Hapu Soludo, Sola Fofo, Solo Boom Mado. Yogu my yoga, Quista Doge, Messionia, Neme Mumu can dedica Pita and Baha Nana Heku. Neme Mumu, but in Kayawaga Putakasipano professor, Oma so yibo, Ona Sufono, Professor my foot, Professor na Magi, Professor Ndi Passing Sisi, and Kayimwerushe. Gini ka nwe excuse me. Gini ka nwe Soludo na agwadi Soludo. Ana m ajụ, the same ajụjụ njụrụ ndị be Hope Uzodimba. Ndị be ọlụ nwanyị, ndị be nna ya, ndị be ikwu nne ya. Soludo, ndị be ikwu nna gị, ikwu nne gị ha, ndị ọgọ gị, gịnị ka ha na-agwade gị? Ma ọ bụ na gị na onwe gị enwe ezi ike igwe onwe gị eziokwu, gịnị ka ha na-agwa gị? Ha na-akụrụ gị aka, ị na-aba ime ọhịa. Gị chichakwa ọchịchị ị ga-arịtu o. Ebe ka Willie Obianọ nọ ugbu a. Ọkwa gbara gaa US gazokpuri, mana US ahụ ọ nọ. Atọ ọnụọ against him, ọ gaghị alafere ya. The same thing with you. Echiche ọchịchị a ebe ka ị ga-anọ. Si na nwa gị nọ n'obodo oyibo, imechazie gaa alapụ ya n'obodo oyibo. It does not end there. The life is so long.
Fact of the matter. We, as at November 1st, 10 people have already been killed in Plateau State. All of them Christians. First day of November, okay? The week before, 12 were killed in Plateau State. All of them Christians. Let us not deny the obvious. What we're saying is no single person should be killed. But we have a situation where Christians are the primary targets and Muslims are collateral damage. We have terror groups in Nigeria who fight over whether they should kill Christians alone or whether they should kill Christians and Muslims who oppose them or who refuse to join them. Let me mention, something very important. The Nigerian government wanted to send a team to the US to meet with the US Congress. But let me tell you what happened to the last team that came in September. When they got to the US and went to Congress, they were presented a position paper from the US Congress, and they went back. They had the chance to present that paper to the House, debate it, and come up with a response. Nothing happened. When they went to the UK, they told the UK, oh, there's no targeting of Christians. This is just general banditry. Do you know what the members of the UK asked them? One question, and they kept silent. They said, if it is simply just criminality, what about the case of Leah Sharon? 110 girls were taken from Dapchi. The government of Nigeria negotiated their release. All the Muslim girls were released. Only Leah, the only Christian, was kept behind. How can you say that is purely criminality? So let us not play games.
Großartige Ideen kommen von überall her. Mit Wix.
Let me point out that the CPC designation is not only focused on Christian persecution. It involves persecution of Muslims as well. That is why one of the key issues that was raised by Ted Cruz was the blasphemy law. We have two Muslims who are, one is on death row and one is on life imprisonment because of debates that they had with people, and they were now condemned as having perpetrated blasphemy and apostasy, and they've been sentenced. These are victims of religious extremism and intolerance. But even with this case of these Muslims who went through this legal process, compare that to Deborah Emmanuel, who I'm showing on this T-shirt. Deborah was a Christian. If they were offended by her remarks, he could have been tried like the Muslims. He wasn't. She was burnt alive. And the people who did it showed their faces on camera, and nothing has happened to them. So we as a country to set up a response, but most importantly, the National Assembly should begin a hearing on the state of religious persecution in Nigeria. And let Nigerians ventilate their grievances, and let this administration address it. I believe that President Tinubu is a political engineer. For him to have overcome all the obstacles he had to achieve this position, he's somebody.
So he's now going political. He has said the truth that we want to hear. There are things that I didn't even know this man has said here. I never knew that the people that were rescued in that Igbos girls, which they used to destabilize Jonathan's regime, that they released Muslims only to leave Christians behind. So Makandi na-ekwu na asị gị that ihe awụ this ihe nka na-ekwu rubbish. Have you seen it? Everything is targeted on Christian. But Soludo ga-apụta na media wee na-asị nọ ndị Igbo nke ahụ ka mụ njọ. Soludo a na-akwụdị ekwu na a na-egbu Christians na ndị Muslims. Nke Soludo wu that no Emmanuel, no John, no Peter, no Okeke, no Ụzọchukwu nọ n'ime ọhịa wee na-egbu ụmụ be anyị. Soludo ihere megbuo gị. Soludo iwe onye arụrụ ana. Soludo iwe onye ogbu mmadụ, ogbu anwụ ọbara. Maka na ị chọrọ ime ihe ndị Fulani Janjaweed dowere gị n'ọchịchị gwara gị. You want to please them in order to be enthroned in your second tenure. That is why in a way we not turn you upside down. Soludo, you need to listen to this news so that Kimara nke we eziokwu. Soludo gwakena onwe gị eziokwu. Igbuchegokwa ndị ibe anyị. Ndị na-atụnyere Soludo vote. Ọkwa onwe unu kunu na-egbu. Ọkwa onwe unu kunu na-egbu. Okay? Meanwhile, before we continue, let's salute our people once again. Ndewonu. Yes, I am blessed. I am very, very happy. I love you all. Thank you. Yes, please guys, share these broadcasts. Share these broadcasts. Oh, it's campaigning that. I think it's a Mondo side. So thank you. Please, Onoroni Yokuru Bikonu. Share this broadcast. Call people to come in. Let it go viral. Ndewonu. You carrier once again. Monday. Charles Orji, Clement, Wisdom, Biafra, Divine, Las Benzico. Ndewonu. Greetings to all. Gift Otekwana Nwanne. Ndewo from Amaland, from Biafra, the land of the rising sun. From the land of the rising sun. Ndewo Nwachukwu. Thank you. Long time. Ndewo Eunice Ibanyi. Ndewonu. Thank you for joining. I am glad to have you. Easy coding. Thank you all. So, unu na ahunu ahụ iberibe Soludo na-ada chai Chineke na arụ mere. Let's listen to this man also.
I've listened to it for a long time, and sometimes when these things are not happening, I remember some of the things you said, some of the warnings you gave, actually, but now it's coming home eventually. But I will start by asking you to give your interpretation of the multiple characterization of what is playing out. On one hand, according to the UN Genocide Convention, defining genocide as in terms of intent, not necessarily skill. The American government saying Christians are being killed. The government is not doing enough. The government is saying, yes, they are killed, but others are killed as well. We're not talking about the issue of sovereignty. There are so many issues. There are conspiracies around in between all of this. So let me just allow you give us your own interpretation of this multiple characterization, and we can zoom in into some of the nitty-gritty of the issues.
Thank you very much. My take is this. What makes us human? One of the things that makes us human beings and not beasts is the ability to think lucidly. If a nation has 200 and something million plus people, if for whatever reason as much as 200,000, 300,000 people are dying, 400,000 people are dying over a span of 15, 20 years of something that is not right, I would think that a right-thinking nation, its priority would be to diagnose properly and then stem the problem. There's something wrong with the way the Nigerian is thinking.
Okay.
And I believe that's what we need to correct, first of all. First of all, I want to say, whatever we're discussing right now...
That is, all their brains are damaged. Poverty, the Indian Ashashi may subject Nigerians say, nobody is reasoning right. Rome and the Nachi did the Soludo another peanut from the Fulani Jaja who's in the wear uniform. In fact, Paul Pukara everything. All their irats, Hane Nyesha Kobo, Aputana social media, na type Sorohane. They are not reasoning like humans. How are people thinking? That is the thing that we with them too much. Look at that, we'll just be asking. Why are people thinking like this? Eh? At least this man is a pastor, so for saying the truth, I am that I can make a remnant. All right, so let's go on.
Let's make it about the future, not the past. For 15 to 20 years, I spoke on this station that there's a global resurgence of religious extremism that's templated across the world. And it has a local expression in Nigeria. And I said to us that it's a hydra, if I remember very well. And I said to you that it has a religious cover. And I pointed out to us that its religious cover is exploitative because it had realized that in Nigeria's foundation, because of the divide and rule foundation that we have, religion was an issue. So it exploits that opportunity to create an enmity between classes. And I said for the first, like from the 1990s upwards, for the first 10, 15 years, it was consuming Christians. Not only consuming Christians, it was systematic. We're talking about the rape of young girls. We're talking about kidnappings. And we're talking about the fact that when we got involved, we found out that it's so clever that it was operating in a way it was difficult to detect. And I remember saying ahead that at a final stage, towards the end, it will begin to kill Muslims. And when I said that, I was as a special advisor to the CAN president then, they were surprised. And I said, no, we've studied the MO of this thing. And whether we like it or not, if you want to go theological, let's go hyper-dimensional. If you're a Christian, for instance, you will know that in Revelations 12, the Bible talks about the dragon with 7 heads and 10 horns. Now, one of these heads, the mountains, is religion. What you're up against is a dragon, and it uses not only religion, but education, but you name it. I'll give you a good example. In the years, I remember we had a meeting, and a journalist in Lagos there picked up something we pointed out in a meeting, that a textbook contained classical conditioning of the minds of students and was an approved textbook in a Nigerian school. It had a character who used to kill people and offer them to convert to Islam or be executed. And the journalist went ahead and, printed it. And when he did, a sack letter was waiting for him. He was charged to court. The police, the judiciary, everything was lined up to take care of him. Now, this is an interesting thing. That manufacturing company printed a new version of the textbook, presented it in court, minus that story, forgetting there's a second-hand market because they removed all copies swiftly. So who does that? When we went to a second-hand market and presented old copies of the book, they threw the case out, and then there was a national furor, so they quickly retreated, and he got his job back. Now, what I'm going to ask you is this. What amount of intelligence does it take for you to see that there's something moving and working together behind the scenes? So we shouldn't be in denial. Let me just sum it up like this. Nigeria is a country that has multiple problems, like maybe a patient has Ebola virus, has HIV, and then has a virulent case of cancer. Shall we now say that because there are other life-threatening diseases, shall we now deny the cancer? So I don't want to say anything more than this, because there are two sets of people who have to be careful. When a soldier joins the army, he doesn't sign up to live. He signs to die, to defend his nation. When a pastor, a Christian, a minister becomes a pastor, he doesn't sign to live. He signs to become a living sacrifice, which means the nation should trust on them, at least the pastors, to speak truth to people of religion. So let's get away from this silliness, because anybody with an iota, I know that it uses media as a force expander. It's very confusing. It's not very easy, but through the years, we have broken this thing down and showed it for what it is. So it is actually wicked, asinine, for anybody in Nigeria who knows Leah Sharibu, who was taken at age 13 or 14, has been raped brutally, has 2 children somewhere in captivity. They don't care about it, whether she's in captivity or not. I'm surprised at the people who are in Nigeria who remember Deborah Samuel in Sokoto, who was killed. The students who killed her on religious basis were never tried. I want to remember Christiana Oluwashesi in Gombe, 2007, a teacher who was slaughtered by students. Imagine. They went after her nursing baby towards the gate. Now, I can go on for a whole day listing them. The young man who came from Britain to come and do his youth corps in Plateau State, they were shouting Allah Akbar when they slit his throat, and they had him call his parents to listen to his death throes. So what are we talking about here? Now, the challenge is this. This Hydra has a head in politics. It has a head in education, like I showed you. It has a head in media. It has a head in practically all things. Many nations have learned to deal with it, but Nigeria never got it right because of asymmetrical warfare, hybrid threats, and of course the use of media as a force expander. So the point now is this: because we refuse, or whether it's a lack of courage, whether it's cowardice, whether it's confusion for whatever it is, we have not really faced up to the truth. And that's where we are right now. So when a man like Donald Trump comes in and says, look, the bloodshed is copious. Now, I'm telling you why Nigeria has been silly. Over the years, there have been too many foreign observers who have come into the country who quietly have been watching the figures, collecting, collating. I remember this same confusion at the time we were looking for the FTO designation on the Boko Haram. The Boko Haram was so disguised. Some said, no, it's ethnic. Some said, no, it's this. Some said, no, it's that. I remember in 2012, there was a hearing on Nigeria in the US Congress. And you would not believe the asinine arguments that we heard there. Don't forget, in my desk, at that time, the American government, Secretary of State at that time, was funding the Boko Haram in Nigeria. So now, all of a sudden, there's a change of government in America. And there's somebody who's not going to cooperate with... Look, on the global level, there's something called the pacification of terrorists with territories.
All right.
Now, that is what is going on.
All right.
But all of a sudden comes a president who says, no, we won't do that. So let's get out of denial and protect the future of our children. What should we do now is what we should be talking about. Not all this politicking, spreading money around, being silly with our future.
Indeed.
The same thing I spoke on just a minute. I spoke on this program some years ago when an Al-Qaeda member was appointed a federal minister in Nigeria. And I remember I said it publicly, because we are living sacrifices. Why is that happening in a nation? And why are we pretending?
Indeed, Reverend Thompson, we've listened to you over the years speak. To these issues in what seems a clairvoyant manner, and it appears as if they're playing out right before us now. Speaking of which, let's understand how we got here in the first place. And I recall here Senator Ted Cruz's legislation before the U.S. Senate, which, by the way, has not gone through, but President Trump has exercised his executive powers to designate Nigeria a country of particular concern. The bill 82747, also known as the Nigeria Religious Freedom Accountability Act of 2025, seeks to compel the U.S. government to designate Nigeria CPC, country of particular concern. And we understand that there have been hearings conducted on this particular bill, and representation of Nigeria was denied at that level. Help us understand who are those that you consider may have presented this legislation or presented petitions before the U.S. Congress, because we understand that there are some Nigerians over the years who have appealed to the international community, to come to the rescue of Nigerians who were being killed. Does this have a Christian coloration? Reverend Thompson.
Der größte Hostinger Black Friday Sale aller Zeiten. Managed Hosting für WordPress-Pläne gibt's jetzt schon ab.
I think it has a correlation of what we call the defense of religious liberties. I'll give you a few more examples. Go and read the Nikitobi report. In the Nikitobi report, there was a recommendation that the Commissioner of Police that was complicit when the churches were being burnt, when Christians were being targeted in Plateau State. The recommendation from Nikitobi was that he was to be dismissed with ignominy. Instead, he was rewarded and became the Inspector General of Police in Nigeria. So what am I trying to point out to you is that, look, let's not forget about America. Are we saying we don't value the life of our people? Are we saying that we're not aware that this thing had a religious cover? And I keep saying religious cover because it is a supremacist ideology. That I went to Ahmadu Bello University, and there are multiples of Muslims all over Nigeria who are not murderers. But because this thing wears a religious disguise and nobody blows the cover of the disguise, instead, the government reinforces it. Let us look at the governorship of El Rufai. If we begin to quote what he said, the things he did, and we begin to look through the years, we don't need the American government to come and tell us that we have devalued human worth, and you will never build a successful nation when you devalue human worth. So when it comes to the American government, there are processes that they have. But the question I want to ask you is this. If your daughter was picked up at age 12, and 29-year-old men were raping her continuously, and I've had to deal with many children like that. I've had to do trauma counsel for them. How do we talk to their parents? Are you sure these are the questions that we'll be asking? Let me tell you the truth. Bunker Samson, go and find out who that is. Rose Northcott, go and find out who that is. For the Gajeri's family, find out who those people are. They couldn't care less whether it was Donald Trump or Donald Hump. If somebody comes to finally tell Nigeria, you can't keep doing this, and I will tell you why it is pertinent. The Hydra, terrorism is a global affair. It's not local alone. So to protect their own interests, many countries of the world also, what the former administration was doing was to trade Nigeria off to the terrorists to keep their own territory safe. Now here comes the president who says, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to do this instead. And you have heard this also. It's also killing Muslims, which we predicted it will do in its latter phases. So for me, what Nigeria should be doing right now is not a matter of what Trump said was that if the Nigerian government does not protect its citizens, then there will be a consequence. Now, the question is it true that the value of the life of a citizen in Nigeria is of no value? Is it true that there's a predatory class that has no future?
It's no value. They don't value the lives of their people. They value the life of cows, animal, more than that of a human being. Where a Fulani boy will come and be telling you that if you buy one cow, he will buy 5 human beings, if not more than. And nobody questions such speech. It will not be hate speech. Manoye will problem how Mazinam Dekano no mere brokers that Nigeria should let Biafrans go. Onye with their problem. Have you seen it?
For the average citizen in the country. Now, if this is true, why don't we address it by seeking cooperation, by setting up an ombudsman? Because you see, what is happening is this, the media is involved in this. And you don't forget that Nigeria, there's money flying around. I've been in this for years. 30 pieces of silver. There's money flying around. And what happens is that instead of asking the right questions, instead of facing the matters at hand, money begins to change hand. Okay. Then you find that even religious leaders begin to speak from both sides of the mouth.
That is a problem. That is why even the media man will come up to come and blow lies. To come and blow lies that near now Christian genocide. Have you seen that? And that is the same money flying that will make Nigeria. They will not pay their workers. They will not pay pensioners, but they will map up 2.7 is it billion or million dollars to lobby over against our lobbies, against the movement of Biafra. And they cannot get out of it because that their money cannot stop our movement. It cannot. Have you seen it? So this man said a lot of things. Time will not permit me to go on and on to play the whole of his videos. He said and revealed so many things. So many things. Because I want to show some other things and I just want to cut it there. He exposed so many things. Now, Soludo, Christians, look at this experience here in Benue State. And you know that Benue State has Igbo speaking parts. Sorry, this is a plateau, okay. Even in Benue, we have Igbo speaking part where these things are happening day by day. But this one happened in Plateau State. So let us hear.
We were attacked in Bokos. The unfortunate situation here, very, very emotional, is that Mama here was a victim. She was shot. Well, thank God that she is alive, and that's why we are able to visit her now. But she will say it herself. She was shot. We can see the aspects, the area of the wound, that has just a zoom on it. Yeah. That's where the bullet grazed Mama on that very day. So she's alive today and will tell us more about what happened. Good evening, Reverend Gideon.
Well, good evening, sir.
Yes, we thank God for the opportunity to be here with you.
Thank you.
We heard that something happened with you.
Yes.
Could you tell us your name, what you do, before we hear what happened to you?
All right, thank you, sir. I'm Reverend Gideon Dowell, and I'm a clergyman at Christ Apostolic Church, Mbong District, in Bar of Bokosowa government.
Yes. Can you tell us what happened on that very day?
Yeah. On Christmas Eve, that was on the 24th, December 2023. We were at home. Everybody is happy with his family, celebrating, preparing towards the next day, Christmas, preparing and frying other things. Around evening, closer to 7. Normally, women, we don't stay at home when evening periods are after that. We normally sit outside. So I was outside from the house, the normal place where I normally stay in the evening. So I saw a lot of cattle gathered in Fulani environment where we live together. I called one of them, I asked him, what's happening? I saw a lot of cattle. He said, nothing. There's nothing that's happening. People that roam from other places that came to stay with them. He told me that I should not worry, there's nothing will happen. So I was there where we normally stay. And between my discussion with what happened, between 30 minutes from after our discussion, now the place was a bit dark. We cannot see them from afar. They came in ranks. When they reached close to our houses, they chanted Allahu Akbar. Then they started shooting rapidly. So they, as much as there were many, we can't, before you understand, they have occupied everywhere. My family were inside the house, so they blocked them inside the house. They were born inside the room. So since we were outside, we run for our life. They follow us. They, between 40 to 50 minutes, that the whole of that village was set on fire, set ablaze. So many people were killed. In fact, 11 people were killed. Some were macheted. My family and my wife were burned into ashes. And they burn our resources, our maize, anything that we harvested. They burn everything.
So what do you think is the cause?
This man lost 5 of his children, including his wife. Ndi Fulani were born 5 children, and now unye n'ime ụlọ. Young one on outside, he would have also been a victim, but because he was outside and he ran only to come back to come and see that his family agbago everything ọkụ. Then he put in na-ekwu na-ekwu inyo. I don't know.
Yes, we can't ascertain what was the cause because we didn't know anything. We just saw them coming. They're the ones that know what was their effort, what they planned to do. We don't know. They just come over us like that. We don't know what was there in their mind. We can't say anything about that. Since they just come and hit us and killing us and destroying us. They have their reasons. We don't have any reasons to say.
That must be a very horrible experience.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And I heard you said one of them you call him.
Yes.
Which means you have numbers of those people.
Yes.
And you know him as a person.
Yes.
What is his name?
In fact, amongst them, he's the one that we're even close with. His name is Isa. I have his number, I have my own.
Isa?
Isa Gulsori. I called him. He's the one that was telling me that there's no problem. All those cattle I'm seeing, they came from where they are fighting. So they come to take refuge. Not knowing that the man is deceiving me. Not knowing that rank of Muslims are there. Until which I saw the attack. From that moment, I didn't call him to this present day. Because I thought he was a friend. I thought somebody who can betray the whole church and the whole entire community.
You can imagine.
Yes.
So that is the takia they are using. Manandi ba noro na-eme anya ụra, ndị dịka Soludo nọrọ na-eme anya ụra. We can't allow our land to be overtaken. Okay? Ihe anyị na-anya wụ nnọọ ndị they are infiltrators in military and police. Yeziri ndị ebube agụ na ndị Tiger Base, Hope Uzodimma na Soludo ha kwadoro. Onye anyị na-anya. But ọ bụrụ maka ndị a, anyị agaghị ekwe. Onye mere Maazị Nnamdi Kanu ji wee fọma ESN, mere ha ji wee jide ya. Just imagine, ndị onweghị onye ha wee ezigbo mmadụ. Takia, ha bịara nnọọ like a friend, ya na ya dị na mma, na-eme exchange. Mgbe ọ hụrụ ndị ọkpọ ya si ya, lekwa what is happening, ọ sị ya na o nwepụ ihe na-eme, nothing. Until when they carry out their incident, because ndị abụ ndị na-enye ha information. So maka gị nwa, na-anabata ndị Fulani, ha na-anọrọ gị n'akụkụ. Si na ọjọọ nọ ka ha kpara nri, onwe ihe o mere. One day, oge eme ihe o ji wee bụrụ Fulani. So that is just it. You can't, onwe ihe mere ka Nigeria adịkwata mma again. Nigeria can never be good. I think
when you saw that attack, what did you do now that you're a leader?
Okay, so let's hear
which has splintered, or there is something more to this. Is it local?
So, for the avoidance of doubt, even though there is obviously there's an Islamic terrorism angle to the violence in the north and middle belt, which is known, as you mentioned, Boko Haram and the splinter organizations like Ansaru, Iswap, and the likes. This particular strand of violence taking place across the middle belt is in fact an ethnic genocide. This isn't just something that people are saying. This is a documented fact.
Okay.
If you recall, in 2021, there was a report which I publicized. When I say we, there were two involved. So there was an NGO called the International Project for Peace Building and Social Justice, PSJ, and the International Committee of Nigeria, ICON, which I was affiliated with. And in conjunction with these NGOs, Dr. Richard Eke and Dr. Ayo Adedoyin and the late Dr. Obadiah Malafia, in 2019, between 2019 and 2020, we put together a 300-page report about this violence in the Middle Belt, and the title of the report was Nigeria's Silent Slaughter, Genocide in Nigeria and Implications for the International Community. Now, this report was presented to the U.S. State Department and to the U.S. Presidency. So it was presented to the then U.S. Secretary of State, Mike Pompeo, and the then U.S. Vice President, Mike Pence. And if you recall, shortly before Trump left office, at the start of in 2020, the last major decision that Mike Pompeo took as Secretary of State was to have Nigeria designated on the list of countries of particular concern for being for violation of religious freedom, which wasn't what we asked for. We had asked for the U.S. to appoint a special envoy to Nigeria, but I mean, we took what we could get. So that was a direct result of this report that was published. This report explicitly labeled this violence as an ethnic genocide, and the U.S. government agreed with this report. The reason why we didn't get the special envoy requested was essentially that the use or the deployment of American resources in that way couldn't be justified by the outgoing presidency, which is why all we got was a designation. So just for the purpose of record, for the purpose of not being unnecessarily vague about this is an ethnic genocide being perpetrated by a specific ethno-religious group which has, well, let me not say elements within a specific ethno-religious group who have designs on artificially replacing an entire population across the middle belt of Nigeria. Those populations generally tend to be either African traditional religious worshippers or Christians. They are being systematically replaced, right? The video you played at the start, with the gentleman recounting what was done to his village, this is a pattern that has persisted for years, coming into decades now, where The point isn't necessarily to murder everyone living in the Middle Belt. That's not the point of it. If you recall, he mentioned that they burnt all their crops, everything that can help them to survive was destroyed. Now, if this was all about just killing people, why would these bandits, terrorists, killers, whatever you call them, why would they go after crops and burn them for no reason? The reason is that the purpose of these attacks is to render those places completely uninhabitable and inhospitable to the indigent populations so that they will leave. And when they do leave, as has happened hundreds of times, when they do leave, then these settlers, as you call them, the Fulani settlers, then move in, actually rename these villages, right? So someone somewhere was known as, it belonged to an indigenous group, maybe a TV or a Famswang group maybe in Plateau State or in Southern Kaduna, whatever. And then these attacks happen, and these people are forced to leave because even if they survive the attacks, there is no way for them to continue living in that place. Their houses have been destroyed, their farmland have been destroyed, their livestock has been destroyed. They have no way of surviving, so they have to leave. And when they leave, those villages are then occupied. The indigenous names of those villages are changed to Muslim or Fulani names.
Good. And so he has just made a fact. But the problem now is David Hundeyi. This is the truth. As a journalist, your investigation, you said, what happens today? What happens today? And that is what the other pastor was saying, that as a pastor, you are called to be a priest. As a soldier, you are called to save the life of people. As a journalist, you are called to say the truth so that things will go well. Because the news people here shape their minds and shape their brain. You say the truth here, but all of a sudden, you turn to something else and started singing praises for Nigeria. You are denying the fact which you yourself has already said. So what is wrong with you, David Hundeyi? That's the problem we have with Africans. You cannot be consistent. But Nnamdi Kanu is a very consistent human being. Ọ nọkata ọ na-ajụ na ọ bụrụ na ọ hụrụ Chineke anya na ọ ga-ajụ ya gịnị ka ndị Africa mere ya mere o ji wee kee their brain differently, because the way they reason is entirely different from the normal way. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is very consistent. David Hundeyi, ipuchara ụdịka eziokwu niile. Today you are talking with your through your both mouths. You cannot say the truth of what you stood in the media, in the whole world, and said. We will keep bringing on these things for you guys. Okay? So let us listen to this one also. So
if my government is denying genocide, if my government is denying genocide, what will they say about this? United Nations, European Union, take note. This is the genocide of people that were killed.
Imagine. Hey! Chineke.
On the fateful day of 7 March 2010, massacre at Dogona Hawa Plateau State. Names of big victims that were killed. Machineries were brought from Niger Republic. They were brought from Chad. They were brought from Burkina Faso, Senegal. They were hired into the nation. They mix up with those from Maiduguri. That's a Muslim state. Also from Gombe, Muslim state. In fact, they trooped into this place, Bauchi. This is the route that they took by About midnight, they invaded this village. We are living peacefully in this Dogona Hawa. These are the victims of massacre. Davo Bitrus, Chuan Bitrus, John Nash Ren, Ngoyisa Danjuma, all they are under the grave. Karos Nash, Lydia E. Danjuma. See the name, 100 is moving to 66. Ended by Israel Simon, Lydia Bulus Chuang, Da Labi Dung. And look at this place too. Dadung, Dagong Dung, Justina Gang, Sani, Pam, Victor Pam. To summarize, to go down to 126.
So, India na Akbaha now, they are all Christians. They are all Christians. They are all Christians. Makandi na agba arụrụ. Nneshi agụgọ n'ọwụghọ Christians ka a na-egbu. Okay? So, look at evidences. And this man's life, and they threatening his life. David Gundeyi kwuru eziokwu. Lee ya now. Okay? So, now let us listen to our sister. After listening to our sister, Anyagazie na BBC News. Anyagazie na BBC News. Let's listen to Nki. All right. So, no. Do no nya anyway, sha. Nke o kwuru onye bara uru anyị were. But anyway, m ga-asị na ọ na-azọrọ onwe ya. Okay? M ga-asị na ọ na-azọrọ onwe ya. But let us hear her. Okay.
Igbo bụ Igbo. Ekene m unu ọlọlọ Nneka Chimezie na-ekwu. Aka na-ewetara unu ọnọdụ Igbo. Tata bụ ụbọchị ụka. Aka nọkwa na Abuja na-ewetara unu ọnọdụ Igbo. Enweghị m chọrọ ịgwa ndị Igbo anyị gbasara ndị otu MKA Maazị Nnamdi Kanu. Ọtụtụ n'ime anyị na-amara ife emere n'ala Igbo ruo anaghị ekwu na ndị ụmụaka anyị mere nya bụ ihe. Mana ihe m na-agwa Igbo bụ Igbo n'ụtụtụ abụ anyị atụlele gaa nyocha wee mata na ihe mere n'ala Igbo bụ nnukwu aghụghọ ka a ghọrọ anyị nwa bụ ndị Igbo. That is ụdị mperi eriri anyị tụọ ekeghe. Unu ọmakwa unu nwa bụ ndị Igbo n'ọmakwa kemgbe ma politicians ga-ene m ntị, ndị eze ga-ene m ntị, ndị na-azụ afịa ga-ene m ntị. Politicians m ga-akpọ afa Gọvanọ Charles Soludo, Gọvanọ Peter Mba, Gọvanọ Chioda Gọvanọ Alex Oti, Gọvanọ Hope Uzodimma na Gọvanọ Nwifuru of Ebonyi State. Ihe ahụ the 5 southeastern governors. Enweghị ndị nọ n'ọcha unu nọ wee pụọ. Ọcha anyị nọsi anyị like ya tinye Godson or God whatever. Ị ga-apụ. Gọvanọ ọ bụ ụzọ dị mma tụlee ọnọdụ Rochas today. Rochas tụlee ọnọdụ ọhakim gụnwa tụlee ọnọdụ Achineke Udenwa n'ụbọchị tata. Then abịakwa na Anambra State, Charles Soludo nene Obiano gụnwe nene Peter gụnwe nene Ngige gụnwe nene Mbadinuju. Onye chụsị onye efe. Ị bịa na Enugu State, Peter Mba ngụ nene gburugburu nene Chime gụnwa nene Nnamani. Ị bịakwa na Abia State, otu gị nene kedu afa former governor of Abia State, onye nke anyị nene Soludo nene ọjị ụzọ kala nna anyị ukwu ọjị ụzọ kala na-akwa ya bụ ụzọ kwa mgbe Krismas Tinubu eji eme election. Ndị a ji ya na ihe uche EFCC ọ na-agụzi ka parrot. So ihe m ji wee ngwụcha ihe niile ndị a bụ na pawa anụnwa na-avacate ọ dị tọrọ, mana decision ọbụla iteki na emume ọbụla i mere mgbe ị nọ na pawa na-enwere ọnọdụ ọ na-edebe Igbo. Ihe mere na Igbo ji nọrọ at our barest lowest minimum now.
Please click the like button and share.
Ọnọdụ ndị representịrị anyị debere anyị ihe ha mere, decisions ha tekere. Enwe decision ị ga-eteke ya lift the lot of ndị Igbo, nwee nke ị ga-eteke obodo anyị. Ị na-anya bụ na a na-emejalize mmadụ nwe onye ga-amajalize ndị Igbo na this whole country. Ọ anyị nwaje nwaanyị na-ana. Ọ bụrụ anyị jụọ nwaanyị na our political leaders mgbe ha bidoro menwe accept conditions ka ha wee nọ n'ọchịchị, mgbe aha ka ha give away our rights as Nigerians. Afọ Nnamdi Kanu na-atọ ugbu a bụ ihe ha mekọnatara wee kechie anyị tie na bottle. Nnamdi na ndị ọzọ tiwe mkpu. Nnamdi was already bold enough to confront the situation. Gbawa nlekeleke otu anyị ga-esi nweta ha were kwe Nnamdi chikwe na bottle kwa. Rochas Okorocha apụọla, ọ manejiri IPOB. Obiano bịa manejiri IPOB. Gburugburu bịa manejiri IPOB. Ndị Rise mgbe ahụ Ụmahi bụ onye bịa n'isi. Ụmahi ana m agwa gị ka ị na-anụ olu m. Ihe niile anyị na-eme imecha minista dị m sure na Tinubu banye ege na enwere ihe a ga-enyekwa gị nke m ji mara ha. Mana imechari ị ga-elochukwe. Ọwụ oge ewu mbụ wụrụ minista, ọwụ oge ewu mbụ wụrụ gọvanọ. Ụmụ ndị nọrọ n'ọcha ahụ n'otusi. Mana ihe ị na-eme na decisions ị na-eteke nwere ịdabụgo ndị Igbo obuto ndị Igbo. Nna agwa gị na your decision ndị niile na-represent anyị ugbu a, most of you, not all of you, because enwere ndị ka na-eshi ọnwụ one na one. A house that is divided against each other cannot stand. Ekerigo anyị nọrọ ofe ebe, and ihe na-atọ obodo a ụjọ anyị nọ n'ahụ ndị Igbo iji ofe obi. Mgbe anyị ji ha n'ofe obi onye ọbụla lasa. Mana ha ji political powers and appointment na-agbajisha ya ka ndị onye bịa tinye gị appointment a agwa gị ọnọdụ ị ga-edebe Igbo. Onye ka iji wee nọ na bọtụ. Mgbe na-ayọ ụnụ hụ this period, ọtụtụ ihe na-eme anyị. Enwere nkata akpara and emego and ndị isi anyị ama. A chọrọ ịnara ya ala Igbo. Bala Muhammad, fellow governors Igbo pụta sị na a chọrọ irelocate ndị Fulani na Nigeria. So ka m gụọ na ọ bụ ike so na amara ọkwa ihe Nnamdi tiwere. All from Benue, ha gbugide from Jos Benue bata Enugu. Awaba Awụsa aba Ọka. I lose ala Igbo. Anyị ga-ekene godo Nnamdi na obere awareness o create. mana unu nyere aka ebe unu na-achọ ka unu blackmail Nnamdi ihe na ọ na-ebere akwa unu akpọbata ha
awareness.
ofe arịrịọ ka m ji wee bịa tata ọ dị mma ka unu wee kipụ ya ọjọọ bụ na mabacha na APC anyị enwero nsogbu ndị Igbo anyị adịbụghị mbụ enwe nsogbu hope ịpụtara gbụwa aka nara gọvanọ enwe onye nyere gị nsogbu ọ kwajepụtakwa na TV sa anyị na ọ bụgo lọsọ ọsọ mmadụ labụ from Imo steeti ị ga na-achị ha nna aha anyị chee na-asị ịpụtasị anyị isi ha anyị na inweta ya by election iji ọnụ gị kọwaa na nwa nke m jisiri ike dọta so ị mere ka anyị mara na ị dọta ya dọta you grabbed it then gwakwana anyị na ị ga-edefend ya ogodi ịkwafu ọbụla ihe niile nọ n'Imo steeti ogodi na mmadụ labụ fọziri lee ga-achị ala ahụ imezuola ihe i kwuru mana ihe anyị na-ayọzi gị nna ya ukwu hope ị nọrụgo biko kwe ka anyị biri kwapụrụ anyị ebube agụ ịkpọtara kwapụrụ anyị asaidekebo then isi aka gị dị ọcha n'ihe mere na ọsụ wọdụ iro from ọsụ to ihe ala wọdụ ọnya arụmanya ịrụmanya ka ebe ahụ mepee maka ebe ahụ ada agazi ya aga enwere pattern m chọrọ ọ dị ka enweta echichi kọpụta some places ama m ihe a ga-eji eme mana isi aka gị dị ọcha n'ọrụ anyị ya bụ iro ọzọ dị ka ibie m na-ayọ n'ụtụtụ a tupu m emechie bụ biko na Igbo leaders Igbo bụ Igbo ana m akpọ ndị governors ana m akpọ ndị senators ana m akpọ ndị House of Reps ana m akpọ ndị PG ana m akpọ ndị eze ndị Igbo nọ na diaspora ayụyọ ikpere m nọ n'ala ihe ọbụla m pụtara gwa unu take it to the bank ọ bụ eziokwu maka na achọrọ m ka anyị Igbo anyị dị mma ka glory of Igbo chiata azụ ihe ọbụla unu ga-eme protect IPOB mee ya kama na unu chekwazie ha gbazie ha olu unu ọmụ ihe m ji kwuo kwa kemgbe after 1970 alụrụ agha ihe awụ mbụ ofu onye na-apụta chịkọta Igbo niile ha na-eso ya ụdị ihe a adịghị mma mmebi Peter mgbe echesi ọchịchị ị ga-elotu Hope ị ga-elotu Nwifuru ị ga-elotu Soludo ị ga-elotu otu ị ga-elotu mana ọnọdụ unu debere anyị ga-egosi ma ị ga-anwụ anwụ ma ị ga-adị ndụ unu ọhụrụ this young man pụtaranụ Igbo na-anụ ụda olu ya ụmụ okorobịa anyị na-anụ ụda olu ya unu ekwekwala ya unu ekwekwala ọkọkọ ya wepụta na ya chekwa na ya maka na agha daa onwekwe onye ga-achịkwata nwa Igbo karịa onye a after Ojukwu after 1970 this is the only young man m hụrụ pụtaranụ chịkọnata ụmụ okorobịa kwukwenya na ya agaghị ebu egbe ya agaghị ebu ube ya agaghị ebu mma I am taking my life ụdị ihe m hụrụ n'ala Igbo na ọ bụrụ ndị IPOB na-eme ihe na-eme n'ala Igbo unu chọọ ndị okenye anyị ọ bụ na-enwe ndị okenye unu kọmitii kpọpụtanụ m ka m nye unu report ihe m fụrụ n'ala Igbo maka na ọ bụ ihe niile aka m kwukwo ihe niile na-ayọ unu with everything we hold sacred unu ekwere ka IPOB chisa kama eziokwu na enwere ọtụtụ ihe ha meghere ebe ha si gaghị mana ha gbalịkwuru ihe ọbụla nwere advantage nwere dis ya
IPOB is every one of us, including you. All right. The most important thing you have said that no we go onye gashikonata ani Igbo karịa Nnamdi Kanu. So hekwene ka ọkọkọ ya n'ebe ahụ ọ nọ. Hekwena ka mmiri maa ya n'ebe ahụ ọ nọ. All right. So that everybody should come together and fight for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu.
Tutu wepụta nwa amadi a were nwayọọ hazie ha gbazie ha olu mana sị ekwekwele ka ụtọ anwụọ ihe m na-eti igbu mkpu
another thing o kwuru ọsị na-eziokwu a na-agbazi onu ESN Mazi Nnamdi Kanu mfọmụrụ na IPOB Indigenous People of Biafra which Mazi Nnamdi Kanu otu n'ime ha onweghị mistake ha mere not even otu ihe mere ọnọdụ dịka mistake ọ dịwo ndị gọvanọs ndị ọchịchị njiri ekworo gịnị ya eme ka ọ bụrụ Mazi Nnamdi Kanu ka a na-anụ olu ya Njiri envy gịnị ya eme ka ọ bụrụ obere nwa ka a na-anụ olu ya, onweghị onye onweghị ọchịchị ọ dị, ọ bụghị gọvanọ, ọ bụghị sinetọ, gịnị mere ya eji wee nụwa olu ya, an ordinary citizen? Ha wee were envy wee bute corruption, raise agents against IPOB. Ha nwa mebiri IPOB. Ha nwa mebiri IPOB. Okay? They raised agents against IPOB. Where plant insiders. They bought people and brought in. Ndị dịka Chinasa Nworu ha. Ndị dịka Chike Dozie ha. Ndị dịka Emma Powerless ha. Ndị dịka Ike Nguru Agụ ha. Ndị dịka nke aha ya Ijele ha. He wee goro ha webatasi jenu chụọ na ego ma o kweghị mebisi everything. That is the problem. So IPOB did not have any problem. Indigenous people of Biafra didn't have any problem. Or the governor with the nsogbu inside IPOB because of their wickedness. Okay? So even those their leaders, we heard it from Chike Dozie. In fact, everything they made now, you are saying, the governors. It's governors. So they are the people that brought the problem. They made a negotiation how to hand over ESN to them. They went and corrupted ESN. They just brought ESN. Where anything they may maintain because they want to cripple Igbo Kandi Bata. And that was why most of them that could not have anything to do have ascended into criminality.
As nwanyị na-alụ n'ala Igbo, as nwaada Igbo, as nne, ihe m chewu ụmụ nwoke nọ ofu nwanyị, ụmụ nwoke ịtọ m eruola oge ịnụ nwanyị. Enwere nwa m kpọgara obodo oyibo, enwere onye nna akpọga maka mụ believe na ịkpọga nwa obodo oyibo modern day slavery. Ọtụtụ ndị gara obodo oyibo ejekọghị ịlọtanụ. Mụ asọ bụ na m nọ n'obodo a mena dị m esi tụtụga wụọ mmadụ kpata ego. Ụmụ anyị sokwasa na nke anyị kpatara ha ga-agafe a. Deta aka nsizo azụ m ha n'ezigbo ụlọ akwụkwọ. Ihe m ji echekwa n'mkpu a bụ na ka m hazie ọnọdụ ka ụmụ m nwee ike nata n'ala Igbo. Nwee ike mụ and ihe m chọrọ ime ewu ụmụ m lụwa nwaanyị mụba nwa m laa n'ala Igbo ha na-amụ ha na-akpọlata m ka m zụọ ụmụ m n'ala Igbo. Achọrọ m ka Igbo dị gbaa mgbọrọgwụ maka nka. Biko, on behalf of Igbo Women Assembly, ndị nne, ana m ayọ unu with everything you hold sacred. Dị niile m kpọrọ oku ka m kpọkwa ọzọ ndị governors, ndị senators, ndị House of Reps, ndị eze, ndị PG, unu bụ ndị na-achị ala Igbo. Ihe ọbụla unu na-eme na unu ekwekwala ka otu a na-akpọ IPOB nwụọ. Biko onye ọbụla na-ege ihe atụ saa ya ka o nwee ike iru ndị ihe a kwesịrị iru n'aka. And biko na ị na-atụsa dee onye ọbụla gee ihe a geruo ya n'isi. Ndewo. Ka ụbọchị taata mara anyị mma.
All right, so we have heard it. The most important thing is that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu should be free. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu should be free. Okay, so before we end it, let's see the BBC news. I nearly forget this news. Okay, Igbo Bibo, Biafrans, Genonte, Bangam, maka ndị na-ekweteghị, maka ndị si gịnị ka a na-eburu akpa, gịnị nke nkwa onweghị na nothing. BRGIE is being recognized internationally. BRGIE, BRGIE na-aga worldwide. Ma ndị na-ekweghị ebu the news, they are forced. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said, we will not pay them to carry our news. A time will come, they will carry it by force. And it is happening. Uno mandi BBC kpọrọ Trump asị. So, because now Trump is stepping in, they have been trying to see where they will come in. Otu ha ga-esi buru propaganda ha bata ha na-achọ nnọọ amaghị ebe ha ga-ebido. So, but the truth must always be said. This is BBC News. As you can see, look at it. If you see my mouse, this is BBC. Okay. Now he said, are Christians being persecuted in Nigeria as Trump claims? So let us just read the news, then I ban and Ketoromoto. Or should I just go direct to the one? Okay. Let us just get through the news. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm looking to, because instead of reading the whole, so let us just get to the right point. This is BBC. As you can still see, it is still BBC News. So I didn't want to start from the beginning. All right, you can go through the news, but let us just read the one that concerns us. Can I go on? Can I just know? Okay, let me start from there anyway, Sha. Let me start from here. Where do their numbers come from? Where do their numbers come from? So BBC say, when it comes to the source of the data on a podcast in September, Cruz directly referred to a 2023 report by the International Society for Civil Liberties and Rule of Law. Okay, Inter-Society, a non-governmental organization that monitors and tracks human rights abuse across Nigeria. BBC na-ekwu. His office also sent the BBC a number of links to online articles on the issue, most of which pointed back to Inter-Society. Okay, said okay, let's said Ma did it's not gonna, it's like a Ma did not respond to a BBC request for the source of his figures, but giving certain similarities to those used by Cruz. To those used by Cruz, it seems likely that he was drawing on Inter-Society's work. In fact, let's go to the news that concerns us. Let's look the ones that concerns us. So why I start from there is to see where Ted Cruz is involved and BBC is reporting. Okay, so look at it here. So this is BBC, still BBC News. It says, who has been campaigning on this thing, and Ethiopia? It says, concerns about threats facing Nigerian Christians has been discussed by politicians in the United States and by international Christian groups for a long time. In previous years, it has been raised in the US by the indigenous people of Biafra. Have you seen it? Yes. Also, in previous years, it has been raised in the US by indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, a group proscribed in Nigeria, which is fighting for a breakaway state in the mainly Christian Southeast. In the mainly Christian Southeast. Okay. Nke a na-agara Jovika onye arụrụ ana. Ị hụrụ that IPOB led by Maazị Nnamdi Kanu, the indigenous people of Biafra, of which ọ bụrụ na iwe onye Igbo n'isokwa n'ime ya, honorably led by His Excellency Amadike Gburugburu one of Africa and Biafra, who is championing it, has been submitting petitions even to US. Jovika Nurunka. So all BBC na need this report. Okay? Also, in previous years, it has been raised in the US by the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, a group proscribed in Nigeria. Thank God that they said proscribed in Nigeria, not in the world. Because ịma na BBC wu ndị arụrụ ana, ha ga-etinyekwa ihe a ka ha mee Nigeria, please, ka ha please Nigeria ka ọ dịkwa ka ha na-aka akwụ. Okay? Which is fighting for a breakaway state. Okay? So we are fighting for a breakaway because we cannot be Islamized in the mainly Christian Southeast. Ọganiru. So BBC, he said proscribed in Nigeria. Okay? They will proscribe it because they don't want the truth. They want people to remain in darkness. We are never terrorists and we are not proscribed. That is illegal declaration they made. If they are looking for people to proscribe, they have them, even themselves, they should proscribe themselves because how Wundioshi, they are all thieves. So we are fighting for our freedom. We are good people. We are responsible. We are hardworking. We are honorable. All right? We are intelligent people. So now he goes on to say, inter-society has been accused by the Nigerian military of being linked to Igbo, to IPOB, but the NGO has denied any connection. Have you seen it? Inter-society has been accused by the Nigerian military of being linked to IPOB, but the NGO has denied any connection. Oganirusi, another Biafran Ebenka. Just look at it, please. Look at this place. Biafrans, get on to neighbor. Listen attentively. Okay, where you are, send the other Biafra disunite eba. Forward it to him. Forward the other Ugo 249. Imam Madabu group dinyere ya bia me arana. They came to fool themselves. Ugo 2419. They should send it to them. It says another Biafran separatist group has also claimed to have played a key role in promoting the Christian genocide. The Christian genocide narrative in the U.S. Congress. Unanuria, Osigene, hear this again. The Biafra Republic government in exile, BRGIE, acronym, described it as a highly orchestrated effort, saying it had hired lobbying firms and met U.S. officials, including Cruz. The senator declined to comment. That is what they ended. I read this place again. The Biafra Republic government in exile, BRGIE, described it as a highly orchestrated effort, saying it had hired lobbying firms and met U.S. officials, including Cruz. So BRGIE is doing the needful. So the sanction on Nigeria, BRGIE has also done it, telling US that this is an orchestrated plan to eliminate Christians in order to take over our land. Ma ọ bụrụ na maka Biafra United na-esi na ahapụrụ ikwu okwu Biafra na-aga ekwu okwu clean of Christians. If they buy all the Christians, where will you stay? Is it not ịzọta ndụ ịzọwa ebe ọzọ? A na-azọta n'ala before ịzọwute. You have to protect your life first before you have a place to stay. Okay? So that is the news. Bangam, this is very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. Very, very, very interesting. I love this. Okay? So, unu gwakwa Ugo 247. Ya kwụsị that saga. Ya kwụsị that propaganda lying on a propagate. Ebe ọ wụzi lying machine. Ọ wụzi a second liar Muhammad. Ọ ihe ọ bụzi. How can you say nunu nwere public Zoom? Zoom. Ekpa wepụta mewu address. Hey, onye hostru Zoom ahụ? Who gave Ekpa the link to join the Zoom? How did he enter? Public phone o ji eme call. Ọ na-akpọ unu. Ọ ya nwa ma ihe o ji akpọ unu. Ka o si nweta the link. Have you seen ebe unu daria Ugo 247? And the Maazị Simon Ekpa anyị na-ayọ gị biko ekpere anyị nwoke isi ebe ahụ pụta mana ka otu o si adị wepụ ọnụ for ihe Biafra for now because ịmaghị ihe na-emeni. Okay, so thank God for this broadcast. We just stayed long in order to say it, in order to do the needful. Once again, I acknowledge everybody in this house. Mandina Akpabegi, Aderelem, you are welcome. You are welcome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Ndewonu. God bless you all. God bless you. I think I've called everyone. So tomorrow we'll court case Maazị Nnamdi Kanu. So let's play jingle for him. For his freedom, please. Okay, so Ndewonu. Please click the like button, and share this broadcast. Please let it go viral. Thank you. I love you all. Out of sight has become matter of mind. He's asking for nothing and cares about not for these people emancipation. No. But there is a breaking news to those who never knew. But make me to give you a clue in the morning sunrise. There is a breaking news to those who never knew. But make me to give you a clue. The morning sunrise. Okay, Aderelem, I have heard you. Thank you. We will soon join him. Thank you. Thank you for the information. He doesn't care about nothing and abandon his family. Take your time and think what he's going through. He doesn't want to give up but to protect you. Even when they throw him African juju. Oh no. Bring up the cannon now. You hate him because of envy. We love him, he's one and only. We follow him because he's ready to die for the freedom of his people. Whatever he said is a prophecy. He's so fanatical and never ready to die for the freedom of his people. It's a breaking news to those who never knew. Permit me to give you one news. In the morning sun will rise. There is a breaking news to those who never knew. Permit me to give you one clue. In the morning sun will rise. Bring up the candle now. 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 All right. So we have to end the broadcast right now. Thank you. I think Laz has also informed me that Sonny is alive now. Thank you, everyone. We end the broadcast right now. Please, we are joining direct. Please do not go anywhere. Join us back as we stream. We hook our Minister of Information. Thank you.